Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Modern Investing on Pod TV. My name is Sasha Starr, and today we have Dr. Milan Sambrak. Welcome to the show, Milan.
Thank you for inviting me. Delighted to be here.
And we have Jim Eat from Eat Foundation. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Sasha. Great to be here.
Okay, so we have some mixed showing today. It's Wednesday. It's a little bit red, a little bit green here and there. What's interesting is that, in my opinion, all this quantum computing stocks, I think they start to slide down a little bit. For example, Rigetti Computing is down $4.50. D-Wave Quantum is down. Actually, it's down only 70 cents, but it was up a few dollars earlier today. So it seems to me maybe the normalcy comes back to the stocks. So we'll see. So the right thing, of course, is to short them. But again, you have to be very careful because they can continue to go higher, although today's action doesn't tell me that at all. So I'm shorting almost anything, whatever comes my way. I twice shorted App Loving, sell short, made a little bit of money, covered. Then again, sell short, covered. I'm always covering a little bit too soon, but you can sell short in 10 minutes. There is no problem with that. It's so easy. I remember several years ago you had to short stock only on uptick. So let's see if there is a bid and ask. You should put your short on the ask and wait until it's filled. Sometimes you can miss though, because if stock will continue going lower. But today you put market, it's filled instantly. So what a pleasure. It's right after our program will be over, I will short almost anything. I shorted even AMD, although the stock is doing very well.
Yeah.
But how far it could go, nobody knows. So I decided, okay, I covered it a little bit, probably too soon again, but I will short it again. There's no the beauty of if you're making 2-3 profitable transactions, it creates some kind of a cushion that would allow you for a while to be wrong, even if you short it and see the position moves against. It's nothing to cry about it because you already made a few $100. So you, at the worst case scenario, you'll give it back. But if you're right, and today, if you're shorting, I think it's almost 100%, you're right on almost anything, then obviously you continue to make money. Okay, so this is from my perspective. How you're doing, Jim, in this environment?
Well, my screen is all green, and except for NVIDIA at the bottom.
Yeah, NVIDIA is, yeah.
NVIDIA, I have total confidence it will be in the green going forward. And I think it's too early for the quantum computing stocks because I don't have a track record of revenue growth in that area. But the Silicon Valley is pouring money into the AI sector. And so there's a lot of money. Then it gives you the feeling of a bubble because there's all sorts of startups going on. And like in the dot-com bubble, that's what we saw is that anybody would put .com by that. And Silicon Valley would throw some money their way. So I would tend to stay away from the late entrance into the AI sector. This includes the chip makers that are manufacturing chips in order to support AI. And these are the types of stocks, if they have revenue and like NVIDIA, Marvell is another one. And AMD in the last 3 months is up 50%. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't short it. I sold it, and maybe I sold too soon, but I only sold half of it. So I can still ride the continuing upsurge. But I wanted to lock in some of the gains because it had been very impressive. The same with Marvel. I have half of what I used to have, and I'm very happy because I hit my target price going in. So now it's all house money that I'm playing with. If it goes up, great. If it stays the same, it's okay. Even if it goes down, it's okay because I'm broke even no matter what it does. Everything is upside now.
Excellent. Well, Jim, AMD, it's not a strategic short what I'm doing. It's very tactical short.
Yes.
So, for example, in the morning, there's a lot of enthusiasm. All stocks, including AMD, they're going much higher in price. But at some point, there is a balance between buyers and sellers, and stock cannot continue to go. You know that during lunch hour, the stock is becoming less active, and if there are not enough buyers, it can go only lower. But it doesn't mean that it will go like down to $200 or so.
Right.
No, but once it moves lower and you can close a deal and get a few $100 in your trade,
It makes sense to me. You have to be alert. You have to be agile. And if you're willing to do that, that makes perfect sense to me. The other ones, AMD, I used to think of as a dusty old chip maker along with Intel. They both have done successful pivots to create chips that support the AI marketplace, which the revenues just continue to astound. Every quarter they're reporting revenues that just kind of, you pointed this out to me before, Sasha. It's not only the revenues, it's the whisper campaign about what the revenue should be. And so sometimes the stock prices, they report great earnings and the stock price might tick down a little bit because
whispers numbers were not reached. Okay, Mr. S&P. What's your...
Well, first of all, I'll state what I usually state according to David Svensson.
Exactly. I was waiting for Svensson. Well, got it. Okay, go.
Because I have something additional to say. But according to David Svensson, who ran the Yale University Endowment Fund for the most successful one on the planet, he said the most important thing is to have an asset allocation with, say, 50-50 works well, say 50% in cash, 50% in an exchange-traded fund that tracks the S&P 500. SPY happens to be the best. And then when the market rises and you have more SPY, you take profits to get back to 50-50. When the market drops and you have more cash than SPY, you take the cash to buy bargains. You are always taking profits and buying bargains. I won't say anything more about that. What I'm going to do now is go to the next point, which is the market is about to crash. And there are three major reasons for that. One is the cyclically adjusted price earnings ratio in 1929 was 32. In 2000 was 32. And right now it is at 39. What does that tell us? Now, the other one, second point, is that the Magnificent Seven are all in AI, and they account for nearly a half of the S&P 500, 49%, I think. So when one of them crashes, the market is going to tank. And the third one is that we have now an inverted yield curve. An inverted yield curve is one of the best predictors that the market will crash. Inverted yield curve, for those who don't know, it means that the returns on the is greater today than there would be in the future on bonds. So we have these three factors which guarantee that the market will crash. We don't know when that'll happen, but it will happen. Now, people who follow David Svensson's advice, when the market crashes, will be buying bargains, because as it was rising and it's now unreasonably high, they were taking profits. So what more is there to say? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a great strategy. And part of what I'm doing is taking money off the table now because of I've been riding the uptick of these stocks. So my cash allocation is greater than it has been, and I will be prepared to get back into the market if it does go down severe.
You're doing that with individual stocks, right?
Yes, in one particular sector, the AI sector.
Well, that could work. That could work, but an individual stock, if you buy more when it drops, makes sense if it's something like Berkshire Hathaway. But what if it falls out of bed and continues dropping?
Right.
You're going to lose your money. It's a dangerous thing to do.
It's the same could be applied to S&P 500. If it's drops, you're losing your money.
The S&P 500 represents the American economy, which is the strongest economy.
Today, American economy is AI economy. All the rest doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But the American economy is the strongest that we've seen in more than 200 years. And it someday will end because, as I've previously mentioned, empires have a 100% failure rate. And so the 20th century belonged to the United States.
Well, there's a fourth factor, Milan, that you listed three. The fourth factor is President Trump.
Yes, I should have mentioned that. You're right. Yeah.
Because who knows what he's going to do tomorrow or later today.
One of the good things that Hitler did was he shot himself. And Trump is not going to do that. But one of these days, he won't be here anymore. And that won't happen soon enough. Because you're right, that fourth factor is a major one.
But speaking about Trump, it's amazing. I never seen that before, that one man can move market $1 trillion down and $1 trillion up. That's incredible. I think that's never happened in American history.
A convicted criminal, too, is doing that.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, and everybody knows that. And,
just rattling his saber against China, China punched him back in the nose. And when he rattled the saber, the market went down considerably. And, so he can just rattle his saber again and the market will go down. But then they shrug it off and they come back because it seems like his bark is worse than his bite. And there may be no bite and only bark.
I'm wondering if some people around him and their associates would know in advance, even a few minutes, what he is going to say, and would make some very favorable trades.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't count that out. Yeah.
Inside knowledge, that's illegal, but it's done all the time.
Oh, now everything what Trump's doing, most of it's illegal anyway. But
there's no consequences to whatever he does, though. Yeah, he was convicted felon, no consequences. He lays these tariffs on. It's Congress's job to watch the money, but no consequences.
How did he get elected? How did he get elected? It's an amazing thing. Most of the people that I talk to, such as you two, and most of my friends, are talking against Trump, and the number of Republicans who are against Trump, who are former friends, that number is growing. How did he ever get elected?
Well, there's a growing progressive, rightward shift around the world. Some of these parties that were once thought of as fringe parties are now mainstream. This has happened in France. This is happening in England. So these are the types of things. And some of the parties in Germany that had no traction at all are getting traction again. So he rode that coattail, that there's and it's anti-immigrant because many countries are facing immigration and they're going, we're losing our national identity. So they want to keep people out. And so that's also part of it. The whole, the overturn of Roe v. Wade, there is a very strong, organized religious effort. And he's riding those coattails as well. And so, there's there's a certain amount of apathy. There's a lot of people that are potential voters who don't vote because they don't think it matters. And, what I'm trying to tell people is your vote does matter. It doesn't matter what country you live in or what state you live in. It matters whether or not you exercise your right to vote. because the people we put in power are the people that we deserve. And we deserve Donald Trump because that's what the people wanted.
Yeah, right.
So,
And I would like to mention also that the Democrats contributed a great deal to the victory of Donald Trump. And specifically two of them I would like to mention. Of course, President Biden, he overstayed his term in the office. He campaigned that he is a one-time president, and he neglected his own promises. And another one, which is probably even more important factor, is the Department of Justice head at that time, Merrick Garland. He should have appointed the special counsel 2 years earlier than he did. And therefore, if he did that, there would be enough time to convict Trump for several charges that he was facing. And instead, he just ran out of time because you could predict that Trump will delay, and play all those games that he plays all his life. But it was very predictable. So you should have struck much earlier. This crime was committed on January 6th. You had to, in 2-3 months, you have to already appoint special counsel and go. But he was waiting until there was a commission. The commission took several months, if not a year, to play their game and announce everything.
And he played by the rules, which is one thing that Trump is not doing. And so, Garland, did what he thought was the right thing at the right time, and he wasn't going to rush the Justice Department. Now,
how it benefit anybody that he was waiting, if not 2 years, say year and a half for sure before appointing a special counsel. If he would do it a year and a half earlier, forget about 2 year and a half earlier, would that be legitimate? Of course, yes, because when he appointed him, it was legitimate. So how come it wouldn't be legitimate a year and a half earlier?
Yeah, but right now the Department of Justice is being weaponized against other people that he considers his enemies, and so they're attacking people for maybe trumped up charges, maybe the real charges, who knows? But the Department of Justice has been weaponized, and that's what Garland was afraid of. He didn't want to weaponize it or be accused of weaponizing it.
Okay, so he missed a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and then he appointed special counsel. So at that time, it was legitimate.
One of the rules.
I know what you're saying, and I tend to have some sympathy for it.
One of the rules that Trump will follow, one of the rules is that a president can stay in office during time of war. So when it comes close to the end of Trump's presidency, he will declare war on some country so that he can stay in office.
But he's already declared war against all the rest of the world with his studies, with Venezuela bombing these little shapes and so on and on. He's saying, okay, so we destroyed that ship because it was carrying the substances. How do you know what they were carrying if it's been destroyed? There is no evidence that they were carrying anything. But that's what he wanted to do, and he did it. And nobody can argue about that. Also, he is putting credits to himself where he has nothing to do with that. Take this latest thing, the release of 20 live hostages to Israel. If he did it now, why he wouldn't do it 3 months ago, 5 months ago? Why did he do it now? Because Israel bombed his friend Qatar. That's why it's happened. All the release of the hostages, there is only one party must be credited with that. It's IDF, Israeli Defense Force. That's the only thing what led to relief of the hostages. No Trump, no this Erdogan or all those other leaders who were there. They have nothing to do. They come together, shaking hands and dancing and saying how great Trump is the greatest in the world or so on. Not at all. It's only Israeli Defense Force. It's the only one who has to be credited with the release of the hostages. And do you think there is a peace? There is no peace. There will be peace anyway. And you'll see almost any day Israeli army will force itself.
You know, the interesting thing to me is that in every confrontation that the Arabs have had with the Israelis, every one of them, and there have been many, the Arabs have lost. Every one of them. They haven't won one. Why do they keep on trying?
Well, they're terrorist organizations like Hamas. They're not representing a particular nation or state, although they're supported, many say, by Iran.
Qatar, mostly.
So they have some safe havens, and they can operate out of them and commit acts of terror, as they did in Israel. And Israel responded. Now the world sentiment is going against Israel because they think it's, the humanitarian crisis that's existing now. They should stop. So there's a lot of pressure on Israel right now. But Israel, for example, has said that Hamas did not release all of the hostages. And so that's the ceasefire can go poof at any time. And because, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Trump says when it comes to what Israel does.
Remember that because the hostages were released, those who stayed fortunately alive, now Israel has a free hand to go into Gaza and clean it all up. The Hamas has no intention to lay down their arms as it is in the agreement. It's not happening. Actually, they just got 7,000 new fighters. They are doing public executions in Gaza against those who they trust supported Israel or had ties to Israel or whatever it might be. They're doing public executions. That's in modern world, it's nowhere else happening. So speaking about all that, Trump now supposedly has a free hand to do something with Russia and Ukraine war. But it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit beyond his capacities, especially if he's continuing to employ his friends, real estate developers and others. So I really don't see how the real estate developers can end war between Russia and Ukraine. However, the good thing is that Ukraine is getting itself together, and they are inflicting enormous damages to Russian economy by bombing these oil refineries and airports and so on. It's taking its toll slowly and surely. And now, if Trump, which I don't believe, but it just could be that Trump will give Tomahawks missiles to Ukraine. But I must admit that Ukraine already has something very similar to Tomahawk missiles, and they're already using it they're flying up to 3,000 kilometers from Ukrainian border to inflict damage to Russian targets. And I don't know what Russia is going to do about all that. They're not making any progress on the front lines. It's taken them several months to get 1 square kilometer. It's much less than 1% of Ukrainian territories, and they're losing 1,000 people a day. We'll see. We'll see. Well, it's winter coming, so hopefully it will be.
Very, very few Russians want to fight in the Ukraine, while almost all Ukrainians want them out of there. So I am the biggest problem in my life, and so everybody in North America can say that. The biggest problem in my life is me, maybe my spouse too, I don't know. But people who are living over there, who are seeing, we see the world as we are and not as it is, people who are seeing dead people every day whose relatives have been killed, and so they think that that's the way the world works. And so, kids here who, let's say, take up skiing, they got more than $1,000 worth of $1,500 worth of equipment that they're wearing to go skiing. And next year they're going to outgrow it, so their parents are going to buy them something else. And that's the way they see the world. They see that's the way the world works. Well, it does for them. But in the Middle East, where the people who live there are seeing bodies and body bags, and so they think that's the way the world works. So I'm the biggest problem in my life, but not over there in that part of the world. They can't say that. Yeah.
Okay, on economics, I was studying in the last couple of days the car business in the United States.
But
And what's interesting, what's interesting, there's some interesting situations happening, is that with all these tariffs and the foreign cars are moving, and of course the prices will be at least 15%, but some probably importers will eat part of it. So anyway, the prices will be higher. I don't know how much, but it's happening. But again, because of the shutdown, no numbers are available. So
Right.
so I don't know how the Fed will make their decision about interest rates cut, but we'll see. But the most interesting thing is that the domestic car manufacturer also raised their prices because they see now the little bit of opening to raise prices. That's what they're doing. But the most interesting thing, what I found is that more and more people in the United States are no longer buying new cars. They are buying used cars.
sure.
A used car in the United States is a huge business which eclipses new car business.
Sure.
Company like CarMax, for example, they're a very successful outfit. First of all, okay, they attracted people by saying there is no haggle price. You see the price, you pay, the car is yours. You don't need to haggle. We are providing the fair price, the lowest price, the most advantageous price for you, and so on. Whether it's true or not, it's another story. But they make also enormous money on the in-house financing. So they're financing these cars as well. And most people who are buying used car need financing. If they wouldn't need financing, they would buy new car most likely. No, they're buying used car, they need financing. The rates are anywhere from 12 to 22.5% interest. And most car loans will be in default. So they will collect interest, they will collect premium on the car that they sold, and they will get their car for next to nothing anyway. The problem only is to whom they will sell this repossessed car. They need more and more buyers. So the more and more buyers will come, and the same situation will repeat itself. So
Yes.
I think I'm ready to look into shorting the CarMax simply because they will run out of buyers in one day. And their inventory is basically will consist of 15 years old cars, 20 years old cars. And I don't know what else to make out of it.
You know,
Yeah. The price of these used cars are going up as well as new cars. So, this is all inflationary. And
yeah.
go ahead, Juan. Sorry.
The interesting thing to me is the Chinese are making an electric car that is every way equal to a Tesla, high quality car for half the price.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to keep them out of Canada to protect the local manufacturers. But
China made an offer to Canada: if you will stop tariffs on the canola trade,
right.
then you have to take out the 100% duties on Chinese electric vehicles. And there is a great fight right now in Canada because, you want to support canola traders and producers, but you will lose all your car business if Chinese electric vehicle cars, and some of them are like $10,000 a car or so on. And we don't have that in Canada these days. So the car manufacturer, but you know what? I think that if you really looking into it, I think Canada will slowly but surely lose its car manufacturer business, unless they will come up with the idea of have their own car, completely different from American, and you have to do really that. If you don't do that, you will lose your car manufacturer business anyway.
Some places in Canada, the car manufacturer has been replaced by manufacturing batteries. Yeah, and batteries are so useful, and they're getting better and better. I have a Tesla. You have a Tesla, James. It takes you from completely depleted to full charge takes about an hour or more. The new batteries will do that in 10 minutes and
And
have.
China is also eating our lunch in batteries as well. Their technology is superior.
Yeah.
So this is the thing is that when we want to stop the import of things that you cannot buy technologically superior products, and if you are able to buy them, you're paying an extra price to them. This is a tax on the American consumer, and the tax is going to the federal government. So you're really supporting the federal government in its weak efforts to try to bring down the national debt, which is still skyrocketing upwards. And so all these policy actions are like shooting yourself in the foot. The Republican Party used to stand for free trade. And if somebody was bringing in a product that was superior and cheaper, it would do well, and the American consumer would profit from that. The American people would profit from that. The Canadian people would profit from that.
Yeah.
But when the government gets in the way, all of a sudden you're paying more and you have fewer choices. So this is an example of how policy can affect, and why I say your vote does matter, because these are the policies that are being put into place, and you're voting against your best interest, your self-interest, if you're voting for people who support these policies.
Thomas Jefferson wanted to see minimal government. The government had some role, but it had to be a minimal position for governments. Well, the idea of minimal government died with Thomas Jefferson, because government just keep growing and growing. Bureaucracies. The primary objective of any bureaucracy is to keep itself going and to keep growing. I had to divert a small river to build a pond some years ago, and then it went back to where it came from. And so it had to be checked by regulatory people. 5 suits came down to see what I was doing. There were 5 suits doing the job that one could have done. So we have a lot of that. Bureaucracies are designed to grow.
5 suits you saw, but there are 10 more suits who are waiting in a car if they will need their
They have to report back to.
help.
Yeah. Well, this is a serious problem, but the approach that Elon Musk had to it, that Trump is having, and who's he firing? It seems like the number of people that are being fired are surprisingly more colored people, Black people, people of color. These are the types of things that we used to be outraged by this type of thing, but we aren't anymore. We're just numb to it. And so, who are they targeting? And it's the kind of thing where they're taking out their own biases, their own prejudice, to say, and in the guise of cutting bureaucracy.
We are very good at identifying a problem first and then solving it. Now, the colored people have made huge progress in our lifetime. It wasn't that long ago in our lifetime that go to the back of the bus was a part of the conditions that they faced. Then they elected a Black president, and a Black woman was running for vice president. So they made huge progress, and so that's the way it should be.
Not only that, the Black president got a Nobel Peace Prize. Believe it or not.
He got it the minute he got elected, not having done anything. Now, he didn't start any wars, but in his 8 years of presidency, he supported every war that the United States was involved in. And there were a lot of those. Peace Prize, you have to wonder about the Nobel Prize.
I think I heard a good idea that from now on, Nobel Peace Prize has to be abolished and no more Nobel Peace Prize should be issued. It's very controversial. It could be given almost to anybody, and it's a good thing if they will stop giving the Nobel Peace Prize. And in the meantime, Trump will organize a new, not Nobel, but it's going to be Trump Peace Prize, and he will take it first year, second year, and third year, and until the rest of his life. Let him do that and enjoy himself.
Yeah, I've got good news for y'all as y'all wrapping up the show and everything. But Jim will love this and everything. But apparently, Americans are tightening their belt. So there is a company that apparently folks might be wanting to invest in. It's called Eagle Foods. It makes Hamburger Helper. So apparently Hamburger Helper has become a major force here in the United States, because everybody is rushing to get the food because it's easy to prepare and it's cheap.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Americans will eat dinner every second day instead of every day. That's another thing to think about. They will not die from it. I mean, it's
70% of North Americans are overweight or obese.
Yes.
Eating dinner every second day might help.
Sometimes people eat 2 dinners a day. Too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So maybe it's about to stop. Anyway, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for today's program, and have a very successful trading week. And we'll see you next Wednesday, same place, same time.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you for inviting me.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.